At my mother's funeral, my stepfather ignored me completely. Then the lawyer began reading her will, and every line started with my name. I stood in the back of the church while stepfather times played grieving widower in the front row. He had his arm around his sister, dabbing his eyes with mom's favorite handkerchief, the one she embroidered herself. I'd driven 6 hours to get here. He didn't even look at me when I walked in. The funeral director had called me 3 days ago. Your mother passed peacefully, she said. I broke down right there on my kitchen floor. When I finally composed myself enough to ask about arrangements, she mentioned that my stepfather had already handled everything. The service, the flowers, the obituary. He'd even chosen the casket. I wasn't consulted on a single decision. Mom and I were close. We talked every Sunday without fail. She knew about the scholarship I got, the promotion at work, how I finally paid off my student loans after 8 years of barely scraping by. But stepdad? He joined the family when I was 16 and spent the next 15 years acting like I was a house guest who overstayed their welcome. He never remembered my birthday, called me Margaret's kid instead of my actual name. When I graduated college, he stayed home to watch a football game, said traffic would be too bad. Mom drove alone and sat in the nosebleed section because those were the only tickets left. At Thanksgiving dinners, he'd talk over me mid-sentence to tell his own stories. When I got engaged, he asked Mom why I was rushing into things. At my wedding, he gave a toast about how he hoped I'd finally make something of myself. Mom squeezed my hand under the table so hard I thought she'd break my fingers, but she never said anything to him, not directly. She'd just get this look, this tight smile that didn't reach her eyes and change the subject. I watched him at the funeral, greeting people I'd never seen before, accepting their condolences, with practiced humility. His sister stood beside him like some kind of bodyguard, whispering in his ear, shooting glances at the few relatives who'd acknowledged me. During the service, person after person stood up to share memories of Mom. Her garden club president talked about her prize-winning roses. Her bridge partner mentioned her terrible jokes. A neighbor described how Mom had organized meal trains for every sick person on the block. Stepdad sat there nodding, wiping tears, playing the part perfectly. Not once did anyone mention me. It was like I didn't exist, like I hadn't spent every Sunday on the phone with her, like I hadn't been the one she called when she got scared about that first cancer screening, like I hadn't held her hand through chemo while he was too busy with work. After the burial, his sister cornered me by my car. The lawyer wants to see family tomorrow at 2 p.m., she said, looking past me like I was invisible. For the will reading. I'll be there, I said. She sniffed. I'm sure this won't take long. Your mother and my brother were very comfortable. They made smart investments together. The way she said together made it clear where she thought those investments were going. At the lawyer's office the next day, I arrived exactly at 2 p.m. Stepdad was already there, sitting in the leather chair closest to the lawyer's desk, his sister beside him, wearing Mom's pearl necklace, the one she'd promised me since I was 12. I sat in the back corner. Neither of them acknowledged me. The lawyer, a thin man with wire-rimmed glasses, opened his briefcase and pulled out a manila envelope. Thank you all for coming, he said. I'll get right to it. Stepdad leaned forward, already nodding like he knew what was coming. His sister had her phone out, probably ready to text other relatives about their inheritance. The lawyer broke the seal on the envelope. The last will and testament of Margaret Richardson, he began. Then he started reading. To my beloved son, I leave the house on Maple Street. Stepdad's face twitched. To my son, I leave my entire investment portfolio. His sister's mouth fell open. To my son, I leave my car, my savings accounts, and all personal effects. The lawyer kept reading, line after line. My name, my name, my name. Stepdad finally exploded. This is ridiculous. We were married 20 years. The lawyer looked up calmly. Sir, Mrs. Richardson was very clear. She left you exactly what she felt you deserved. He pulled out a second sheet. To my husband, I leave my recipe for meatloaf, since that's the only thing he ever complimented me on. The room went silent. She'd been keeping score, and she'd just declared a winner.